What's going on, guys? Welcome to probably one of my favorite videos to make because we got the brand new Galaxy S24 Ultra in the house, and in today's video I'm gonna go over and show you everything that you need to do on your brand new phone. Now we have a lot to cover, so let's get right into the video with the very first thing that you should do on your brand new phone, and that is to make it yours. So what you can do is go into your phone settings and then scroll all the way down to About Phone, and then up here you'll have the default name of your phone. But if you want to change this to maybe something a little bit more personal, or you just want to put your last name in here instead of the S24 Ultra, you can tap on this edit and then change the phone's name right here. And this is the name that will show up every time you're trying to connect your device to a Bluetooth device or a Wi-Fi network or in your car. This is the name that will show up. So give your phone a name, tap done, and then what we're going to do is go back into our settings. We're going to scroll all the way back to the top, and right here you'll see your Samsung account. You definitely want to make sure to log in to your Samsung account, and if you don't have one, you should absolutely create a Samsung account because it's going to give you access to a lot of really important features like access to the Galaxy App Store. You can also use Samsung Pass, Find My Mobile, Secure Folder, Samsung Cloud, Shared Albums, and much more. So it's definitely really important to have a Samsung account. So if you don't have one, go ahead and create one. If you have one, go ahead and log into it. Next, what we're going to do is check out the new AI features that came to this phone. So obviously the Galaxy S24 lineup, one of the biggest changes that they brought is AI. And if you want to learn about some of the AI features, you can go down to Advanced Features, and then right here at the top, you'll see Advanced Intelligence. Now you can go ahead and read through some of these if you want to learn about some of these AI features, but I did make a full video about all of the brand new Galaxy AI features that came to this phone. It's too much to put into this video, so I'll definitely link that video for you guys in the description. So if you want to learn more about those AI features, definitely check out that video when you're done with this one. All right, guys, now the next thing we're going to do is protect our phone. Now, I know it's titanium, I know it's stronger than ever before, but that doesn't mean it's indestructible, and you paid a lot of money for this thing. The last thing you want to do is drop it and dent it or scratch it, because that's going to really hurt. So what you want to do is definitely pick up a new case for yourself. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about this case that I'm using. This is by Banks, and the reason I like this case is because it's really nice and slim and it hugs your phone really nicely. I don't really like bulky cases. These phones are already really big, so I've opted in for this nice slim case because it doesn't bulk up your phone and it looks and feels really nice. Now, if you guys want to check it out, I do have a 15% discount for you, so go ahead and check it out in the description below. All right, guys, the next thing that I always do on my Galaxy devices is make them faster. So what we're going to do is speed up the animation speeds. Now, the animation speeds is what you see every time you open up an application. You can see how it animates onto the screen and how it goes away when you minimize that screen. We're going to speed up those animations, and it's going to make your phone feel much more snappy. So we're going to go into our phone settings. We're going to scroll down to About Phone. We're going to go to Software Information, and then right there where you see the build number, we're going to tap on this until it asks you for your PIN. So what you're going to do is put in the PIN that you set up when you first set up your phone, and this is going to enable developer mode. So now when we go back to our main settings page, down at the bottom you'll see a new option called Developer Options. Tap on that and then tap on this little search icon right here and look for Animator Duration Scale. And down here, you'll see three options. We have Window Animation Scale, Transition Animation Scale, and Animator Duration Scale. They're all set to 1x. We're going to tap into them and set them to 0.5x. And what this is going to do is double the speed of those animations that I was showing you. So now if we go back to our home screen, you can see when we open up these applications, they open and close twice as fast, and just navigating around your phone is going to feel a lot more snappy. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you can actually completely disable these animations to make your phone as fast as possible. So you can go into your phone settings, and then in the search icon right here, look for animation, tap on reduce animations, and if you enable this feature, it's going to completely remove animation. So you can see if I close this window, it just completely gets removed. If I open these, there is no animation. It just pops on and off of the screen. Now, one thing that everybody hates about Galaxy devices is Bixby. Let's be honest, Bixby is not the best AI out there, and a lot of people just don't like using her. But the problem is when you long press your power button, instead of getting the power options menu like on old Samsung devices, you get Bixby. So if you want to remove Bixby from long pressing this power button and go back to that power options menu so you can turn off or restart your phone, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. We're going to go into our phone settings. We're going to scroll down to Advanced Features, tap on side button and set it from Wake Bixby to power off menu. So now when you long press that power button, you no longer get Bixby, but you get your power options menu. The next thing I always do on my Galaxy devices is get rid of these navigation buttons. Now, I know a lot of you guys really like these buttons, but I'm going to tell you why you should move away from these buttons and give swipe navigation a try. So to set it up, what we're going to do is go into our phone settings. We're going to scroll down to, I think it's in display. Then we're going to go to where it says navigation bar. And right there, you see we have the buttons and swipe gestures. Now, when you select swipe gestures, those buttons go away. And now you can use swipe gestures to navigate around your phone. Now, I have two reasons why I suggest going with swipe gestures over buttons. And the first reason is that these buttons down here actually take up a little bit of screen real estate. So if we scroll all the way up to this page, you can see we have two lines right here that we can see. But if I enable swipe gestures and then we swipe up, you can see we actually have a little bit more space. And I know it's not a lot, but hey, that's still screen space. Anytime you're watching videos online or you're watching movies or you're using any of your apps, you do get a little bit more space on your screen, and that's always nice. And the next reason is that swipe gestures have really come a long way. They don't have the problems that they used to have before. They're very intuitive, they work very well, and they're just a lot more comfortable to use. For example, if I want to swipe back, instead of having to, if I'm holding my phone, having to bring, my thumb down here, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe I'm holding my phone a little bit higher, or maybe I'm holding my phone with this hand. It can be a little bit difficult to reach that back gesture. But when you're using swipe gestures, you don't need to. You can swipe from here. You can swipe from here. You don't have to reach all the way. You don't have to bring your thumb down to the bottom. And that just makes the experience of using your phone a lot better. If you haven't used swipe gestures, just enable it for a week and then you'll get used to it. And I promise using your phone is going to be so much easier. All right, guys, the next thing we're going to do is make sure that the always on display is actually always on, because if you double tap or lock your phone, you can see it just goes to this black screen and we don't have that always on display. We actually have to tap on our screen to get that always on display. Now, if you want to change this so that the always on display actually shows up all the time, what you want to do is go into your phone settings, scroll down to lock screen and always on display, tap on always on display, and then right here it says when to show is by default set to tap to show, but we want it to show always. So when we select this, you can see now when we go to our always on display, it's just going to show up all the time. Now, if you're an Android user, you know that the always on displays never look like this. This is actually something that Samsung stole from Apple, and it is to actually show your wallpaper on the always on display. And then when you unlock your phone, go to the lock screen, you'll see that it actually lights up that wallpaper. So we get that kind of cool transition. But if you want to go back to the legacy way of not having that wallpaper show on your always on display and just save a little bit of battery, because obviously that is going to use some battery, what you can do is go back to your lock screen and always on display, tap on always on display, and then right here we have that option for show lock screen wallpaper. If we disable that, when we go back to our lock screen, we get that old school display with just the time, notification, fingerprint, and the battery percentage. Now, another awesome new feature that Samsung brought to the Galaxy phones with the latest update is having widgets on the always on display. To do that, what you want to do is go to your lock screen, tap and hold on it, put in your pin to go into the edit settings, and then right here you can see you can add widgets, and whatever widgets you put on your lock screen will also show up on your always on display. So let's say maybe we want to have our reminders on there, so we'll put maybe this little icon right here, and maybe we want to see how many steps and everything we've taken in the day. We can add that one as well, and then we can go into here, tap done. And now when we go back to our always on display, you can see those widgets are going to show up right there. So we can just take a quick glimpse at our phone to see if we have any of these reminders or how we're doing with our step count. Also, while we're in here, if you guys want to disable this roaming clock, if you just want to have your local time, what you can do is go into your phone settings, go back to lock screen and always on display. And then right there, you'll see roaming clock. You can go ahead and disable it. And now it'll just show your local time. All right, next we're going to go back to our lock screen. And there's a secret on your lock screen that not a lot of people know, but if you tap on the clock, it will actually show you some additional widgets. And if you want, you can change which widgets show up here. This is really nice because you can quickly go into here without unlocking your phone to check whatever it is that you want to check on. But you can actually customize these. If you tap on settings right there, then unlock your phone, it'll take you to the widget settings, and right here you can see all of the available widgets, and you can go ahead and enable and disable whichever ones you want. So maybe we want to be able to have quick access to the weather, but we don't really care about the routines. We can go ahead and change these, and of course you can also reorder them by tapping there and then just drag these around to wherever you want. And that's pretty much it. Now when you go back to your lock screen, you're gonna see if you tap on this clock, and there you go, you can see we have our weather right there. So definitely a cool little secret in case you guys didn't know. Go ahead and set this up to your preference. All right, guys, for this next one, I'm going to take you back into our phone settings. We're going to scroll down to advanced features, and then we're going to go to motions and gestures. Now, a lot of these are already enabled by default, but I just want you to know about them and know that your phone has this functionality. Not a lot of people actually know about these gestures, but they are really useful. So you can see the first two right here is double tap to turn on screen and double tap to turn off screen. So you've seen me do this a couple of times throughout the video already, but instead of having to press the button to lock your phone, you can just double tap it just like that to lock it, and then of course double tap it again to unlock pocket. So definitely a nice little useful gesture just to easily access your phone. The next one here is alert when phone picked up. So if you have a missed notification or a missed call, when you pick up your phone, it will give you a slight little vibration just to notify you that you have a missed notification. Definitely a really useful feature right here. Now, next down the list, you can mute your phone with gestures. So if you're getting a phone call, but you don't have the time to answer it, you can put your palm over the phone or just flip the phone upside down and it will mute that phone call. So definitely a cool feature right there as well. And then of course we have palm to capture. So if you want to take a screenshot on your phone, instead of clicking these two buttons awkwardly, all you need to do is just swipe your phone like that, and you can see it took a screenshot. Now, if we go back into motions and gestures, there's one up here that isn't enabled, and it's called lift to wake. And essentially what it will do is just wake up your phone every time you lift it. So let's say your phone is just kind of laying there on the table, you're doing whatever you're doing, you're working, and you kind of just want to take a quick look at your phone. All you got to do is kind of just pick it up, lift it like that, and you can see it will wake up my screen so I can look at whatever I need to look at and then put it back down and go about the rest of my day. So you can go ahead and set these up the way you like. I usually leave all of these enabled. I think these are all really great features, but I just wanted to show you guys that these do exist. And hopefully if any of you were unfamiliar with the fact that your phone has these gestures, now you know. So Samsung is known for having the best displays in the world. They even make the displays on iPhones. Their displays are just absolutely beautiful, and the Galaxy S24 Ultra is no exception. But there's one change on this phone that you absolutely need to make this display as nice as possible. And to do that, we're going to go into our phone settings. We're going to go to display, and then right here you'll see it says screen resolution. By default, this is set to full HD, but we absolutely want that beautiful, crispy 1440p Quad HD Plus display. So we're going to select that, hit apply, and now we're rocking with the most amazing display that Samsung has to offer. Now, in my opinion, one of the best features on Galaxy phones that not a lot of people take advantage of are routines. And in this video, I'm going to have you guys create your very first routine, and we're going to go into our phone settings. We're going to go to modes and routines, tap on routines, and then here we're going to create our first routine. Now, what this routine will do is put our phone into power saving mode when it reaches a certain battery percentage. So we're going to hit plus. In the if section, we're going to search for battery. We're going to tap battery level. Now you can set this to whatever you want. I usually like to have it around 30. So anytime our battery level is below 30%, we're going to hit done. Then what's going to happen is we are going to turn on power saving. So we're going to tap power saving, make sure this is set to on, and then we're going to hit done. And then we're going to add one more action into here. So tap add action in the search, look for beep. Select beep once. So now what's going to happen is every time our battery drops below 30%, our phone is going to go into power saving mode and it's going to beep so that we know our phone is low on battery, just to give us an idea of around how much battery we have and let us know that maybe we should get a charge going. So now when this is ready, we're going to tap save. We're going to give our routine a name. I'm just going to leave it at battery level. You can also change the icons. You can change the color, whatever you want. I'm going to leave this as default. Tap done, and there you go. We have officially created our very first routine. All right, guys, the next thing I always do on my Galaxy devices is change the grid. And the grid is what decides how many icons you can have vertically and horizontally. I just don't think that 4 is enough. I like to add a little bit more. So what we're going to do is go into our phone settings, hit on this little search right here, and tap home screen. And then right there, you'll see home screen grid. By default, it's set to 4:6, but I like to set it to 5:6 just to have the most amount of space on my phone. Tap done, and this just gives me more screen real estate to put more widgets and icons on my home screen. And while we're on the topic on the size of things, another thing I like to change is the actual font size. So by default, this font is a little bit too big for me, and I like to bring it down a little bit. So what we can do is go into our display, scroll down until you see font size and style, and then here you can change the size and style of the font. So if you maybe want to make it bigger, maybe you wear glasses and it's hard to see, you can actually drag the slider up to make the font bigger, and then you'll see what it looks like. Of course, we can go back into our settings and you can see everything is really, really big. But I usually like to bring this down just one peg smaller than what the default one was. You can also change the font style if you want. I usually leave this as default as well, but you can also bold your font if you want. You have that option right there, but I just like to bring that down one, and then you can see in the settings everything is a little bit smaller and we just have more space on our screen. Now the next thing we're going to do while we're in here is we're going to go down one to screen zoom, and it's the same thing here. If you have a little bit of trouble seeing, you can kind of bring the slider up and you can see how everything gets a little bit bigger, especially when you're talking to people through text messages or using applications. It can be a little bit easier to see. Again, I like to just bring this down as much as I can. Now once we're done here, what we're going to do is go back into our phone settings. We're going to scroll down to advanced features and we're going to look for video video brightness right there. So you can see by default it's set to normal, but we're going to set this to bright. And what it's going to do is temporarily increase the screen brightness and make colors more vibrant when you're watching videos. And you'll see a list of all the applications that you have in here that are compatible. So if you have Disney Plus, Netflix, all these other applications, they'll show up here as well. And you can enable that feature for those apps as well. And essentially what this is going to do is anytime you launch these applications and you're watching videos through them, it'll brighten up your screen and make it more vibrant, giving you a much better viewing experience when watching shows or movies. And then when you exit those applications, it'll bring your screen back to normal. So definitely a great feature if you like to consume media on your phone. Now with great video, we also want great audio. So we can go back into our phone settings. We're going to scroll up to where it says sounds and vibration. We're going to go to sound quality and effects. And right here, you'll see Dolby Atmos and Dolby Atmos for gaming. We're going to enable both of these. And what it's going to do is give us the best audio quality out of the speakers on this phone. Now you can also tap into here and kind of play around with them. So if you're watching movies, you can do a movie mode, music mode, focus on voice, or just leave it as auto as I do. And then back here, you also have an equalizer, which is really nice if you want to get very specific about how you like your sounds. You can go ahead and play around with all of these levels and set it to exactly how you like. All right, next we're going to go back into our phone settings and we're going to go to security and privacy, tap on app security, and we can enable app protection. So this is pretty much a built-in antivirus on your phone. And if you want extra protection, all you got to do is turn it on and now you're going to be protected by an antivirus. Now keep in mind, this is not available to all phones. It depends on what kind of phone you have, what region you're in, and what's your carrier. But if you do have this, you can definitely go ahead and enable it. And now you can even run a virus scan and it will scan all of the applications on your phone and come back with any threats, or if you have any malware, it will just let you know if there's anything that needs attention. All right, guys, now the next change is an absolute must and it has to do with the camera. So when you launch your camera and you go to your photo tab, what you can do is change the megapixels of your photo. So by default, they're set to 12 megapixels. But you have a choice between 50 megapixels and 200 megapixels. Now, usually you can leave this at 12 megapixels if you're just taking pictures for like social media or for your own gallery. But if you know you're going to want to maybe crop into a photo or even print a photo and blow it up, you can go to 50 megapixels or even 200 megapixels to have the most amount of data in those photos so that you can really zoom into every single detail. Or if you're going to print that photo, you're going to have the best quality possible. Next, we're going to go into the video, and by default, video is set to full HD 30 FPS. So this is 1080p quality, but this phone has the ability to go 4K at 30 or 60 FPS or 8K at 30 FPS. I highly suggest you go from full HD because 1080p just doesn't cut it in today's world. We're going to go to at least 4K. So if you want that 4K video, set this up. And now every time we're shooting video, it's going to be 4K. And even if you exit this camera, it will remember those settings. So next time you launch your camera again, you're going to have that same 4K quality selected. So you don't have to worry about it in the future. Set it once and forget it. All right, the next thing we're going to do is improve the microphone quality when we're talking on the phone. So next time somebody gives you a call, or if you give somebody else a call and you see the screen, what you want to do is just swipe down twice like this. And right here, you'll see a mic mode. And by default, it's set to standard, but there's an option in here for voice focus. And this is a new feature that came to these Galaxy phones. And when you select voice focus, what it's going to do now is listen for any background noise you have going on in your room. So maybe you're outside and there's construction going on, or you got kids running around in the background. It will identify those background noises, bring those volumes down, and focus on your voice, making phone conversations much more pleasant. And you only need to set this up once. If you hang up this phone call and somebody calls you, or you call somebody else in the future, it will stay on this voice focus mode. So definitely a really, really awesome feature that Galaxy included. Highly suggest you guys check it out. So the Galaxy S24 Ultra is the biggest phone in the lineup. This is a very large phone, and using it one-handed can definitely be a challenge, especially if you need to reach something on the other side of the phone. You can see my thumb barely goes halfway across the phone. So these are very large phones. And if you're finding that you really want the Ultra, but the phone is just a little bit too big for you, here's a setting that you should change. We're going to go into our phone settings, scroll down to advanced features right there. You'll see a feature here called one-handed mode. And when we enable it, what we can do now is just swipe our finger down from the bottom like this. And you can see it minimizes our screen, making it much easier to use one-handed. Now you can, of course, tap these little buttons right here to move it around. And if you're done using it in one-handed mode, just tap anywhere on the outskirts and it will maximize your screen again. Definitely a really useful feature if you're having an issue reaching those corners or you just have small hands, this will definitely help you out. All right, guys, this next one is for those of you who got a screen protector. I actually got one right here on mine. This is also from Banks. I haven't actually put it on yet on my phone because this is the loaner phone. My actual Galaxy S24 Ultra is still on the way. But if you know you're going to use a screen protector, this is a really useful feature. What you're going to do is go into your phone settings, go to display, and down at the bottom, you'll see an option that says touch sensitivity. It says increase the touch sensitivity of the screen for use with screen protector. So if you use a screen protector, obviously there's a small film on your screen. And sometimes if you tap your phone really lightly, it might not register your taps. So enabling this will just make your screen a little bit more sensitive to those taps and help you register those taps, even if you're using a screen protector. Definitely go ahead and use this again if you're using a screen protector on your phone. Now, when you swipe down once on your phone, you have your quick settings right here. You have your brightness control bar. But if you want to access more of these settings, you need to swipe down again. And you can see we have a whole lot more options here, like connecting to Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and all of these other quick settings right here. But there's a quicker way to access them. Instead of having to swipe down twice, what you could do is go to this pencil icon right here. And then you see right there, it says quick settings, instant access. We're going to enable this. So what we're going to do now is anytime we swipe down from this corner up here, you can see it'll immediately bring down all of these settings. So if you swipe down from any other side of the screen, it'll just give you these quick settings right here. But if you want the full menu, you just got to swipe like that and you have everything right there. And another change I always make in here is I actually get rid of this device control and media output buttons because I never use these and they kind of just clutter up this interface right there. I don't need them there. So what we're going to do is go down here again and we're going to hit on this pencil icon right there where it says device control and media output buttons. We're going to tap on that. We're going to say don't show. And now when you go back here, you can see those buttons are now gone and you just have a much cleaner looking interface and you'll have all of your notifications right here and you just don't have those buttons in the way. All right, guys, now the last thing we're going to do is organize our app tray. So if you swipe up on your phone, you're going to see you have all of your applications right here. So anytime you install anything from the App Store, is going to come down here. But the problem with this is it feels a little bit messy. Any applications that you install just go to the end. I would rather have this organized alphabetically. So what you can do is tap on these three dots right here, tap sort, and then change it from custom order to alphabetical order. And this just makes everything much easier. It makes it much easier to find any of these applications. And I feel like it's just a lot more organized when it's sorted alphabetically. But there you go, guys. That's going to do it for the first things that everybody should do on their brand new Galaxy S24, S24 Plus, or S24 Ultra. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something and you took something away. If you did, be sure to leave a like, follow for more videos to come. I'm going to be making a lot of Galaxy videos in the near future, so definitely stick around. But that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.